Superhuman Customs. I'm Stephen Human, and today I've got a figure that haven't really known what to do with. I changed heads a couple of times and arms and switched things out, and I figured that this would make a really good Artemis. You know, she was Wonder Woman for a little while. I could change some things up, but the arms are a little bit too small. These are from an old, I think it was a Batwoman Beyond, and so we're gonna experiment, and we're gonna lengthen the arms a little bit at the wrists, use some different hands, and make her look like Artemis. So I think this will be a fun experimentation, and I'm kind of excited to see how it turns out. So let's dive in. The first thing I want to do with Artemis is I'm going to play around with her hands. So I'm going to remove these ones. And what I've got, let me get these off and I'll show you. There we go. Okay, what I found is in the garage, I found one of these. It's a wall mount for a screw. And the hands that I want to use, which are these ones, they fit really great because this kind of stretches a little bit. And so I can push these in here. Whoops, maybe I did last night. And they still spin and everything. And so I can use these this way, and then I can cut them and I can put them right here. And I'm hoping that they'll be able to go on these little pegs that still exist. I might need to drill a little bit in here in order to get it to work, but I'm going to experiment a little bit. But that should give us the arm length that we want for her so that she doesn't look quite so stunted, because these arms they don't look long enough. So this will be our first thing to fix. So I've got these hands locked in, and I've sanded everything down, and I'm just going to glue them in place. Hopefully they will stay. I had a plan to have a piece go into the arms and into here in the hands, but with how the links from the hands went in, it didn't really work. So I'm just going to see if it's going to work this way. I'm not sure. I usually like to have something else to grip onto, like going into both of them, because it ends up working much better, but you know, sometimes you don't have that. So we'll see. And the hands that I've chosen are a little bit big, as you can see. So I'm going to try and get some accessories on here for the bracers to make those a little bit bigger. And hopefully that will then glue more of these in place, and it won't just be the ends here. So we'll see. So you can see I added a little kind of arm thing here, like just an addition to her standard pauldrons that she's got, partially because the hands are big, and this helps to make them look more normal size. So remember to do stuff like that. I'm just going to paint it black real quick here, so that when I metallicize it, it'll all match. And then I'm going to take the black and I'm going to go over up here. So I'm going to match sort of the cartoon Wonder Woman from one of the recent, I guess over the last 10 years, where she had black up here, because then it's going to match her arms that I added here that were just leftover arms. And that's going to allow me to do that. So this Artemis will have that kind of look. I think it'll be cool. So I'm just going to do that. So I've got the black in place up here and along the areas that I'm going to make metallic. And what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to use my least favorite paint, which is the red metallic that I've got. And I'm going to go over all the red, because I do want this to have a more metallic sheen to it. So I'm going to go over it, and then I will use my Model Air red over the top to make it so that it stands out. But I'm going to do a thicker coat on here for sure. And I'm going to cover up some of the black. I don't care if the black kind of comes through, but I'm going to do a thick coat of this red. So that's our next step, just going through and adding this and realizing that it's not going to look great until I put that model red over the top, and then it will look good. While the red is drying, I'm going to go over this with gold, all these gold parts, because they are, I'm getting texts as always. I want to highlight these a little bit. You know what? Maybe I should do some wash over these first, because I think I'm going to do that first. So I'll kind of move this around, but yeah, let's put a wash on these and then do the gold. All right, so just quick job with this, and then we'll get back to the gold. How does that sound? This will give us a nice darker base, which will then make the gold stand out more, which is what we want. That's what I wasn't finding when I was putting it on the first time, is that it was just kind of going over, and yes, it was lighter, but it wasn't making enough of a contrast to even matter. So this will definitely give it that contrast. Because then I'm gonna just dry brush it on, and that'll look great. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Now let's do some gold. See what we got. I have a feeling that this is going to make a much bigger difference than it would have before. Now with the gold in, we got to go some gunmetal gray. We're going to go over the top of all this so that we can really get a good metallic on this shield. And I'm going to have this shield on her other arm because this is going to have a sword in it. And so I'm going to do gunmetal gray on this as well. So in the background, I'll be doing that so that all of this can be metallic and look really cool. And now with the Model Air Red, this thing is the saving grace for this metallic because it just makes everything look so gorgeous, so bright, but it still lets some of the metallic shine through. Makes a huge, huge difference. So here we go with that. All right, now let's hit the lighter silver. And I'm going up in the same direction. I did kind of an up and down on the other one, on the gunmetal gray, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go up, I'm going to move this all around, make sure it's not clumpy, get it to where it has an even coat, hit some of these edges a little bit lighter. And then I think we're going to move on to the hair. That's going to be a major change. I'm excited. All right, the big thing is her hair. Let's orange up her hair so that she can become a true Artemis. And this, I mean, you can do multiple coats on this depending on how bright orange you want things. I'm going to have it be that we keep a lot of the texture in here of the black so that it's got some shading. Maybe do a little bit of a lighter coat, or maybe a yellow over the top to hit some highlights. We'll see how it looks once it's all dry. But you know, you want to have some texture in the hair as well. You don't want it to just be straight orange because that's going to look weird. One thing I'm doing here with the eyebrows is that once the paint's dry but not quite cured, you can go through with a little X-Acto knife and you can kind of scrape around if you got any slop, because these are hard to get exactly right. And then if you do that, you can get them really, really close. And it works really nice. I got a little bit on the tiara here, and I can just paint over it with gold, but I can also chip it off right now because it's dry, but it's not fully dry. So you can do that, and you can get things a little bit more precise, make them look super nice. I'm going to take a little bit of this brown wash, and I'm going to hit some of this just to give it a weathered look. I don't want it to look quite so silver, so if I hit it with this, it'll give it kind of a brass weathered look. And that'll look nice, especially here in these grooves. Last thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my metallic blue, just my regular, the Azul, the Pearls Art Deco True Blue that I've used, you know, it seems like hundreds of times. And I'm going to just metallicize the blue here. I think it's going to look cool. It's a very simple thing. I'm debating on whether to do it here on there as well, and the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think I will. So that's going to be our last thing, and then I think Artemis is going to be done. Nice and simple, but this will be a fun one because I didn't care about this Wonder Woman once I switched the heads, and I was debating on what to do. And one thing that, as all of you know, that I've enjoyed lately is taking figures that I don't care about for whatever reason and turning them into something that's going to at least look really cool on the shelf, be something unique, and add to the overall aesthetic of my collection. That's what we get right here with Artemis. And there we go. The fun thing for me about doing things like this is that I'm not playing off of any particular look of the character, so I can do whatever I want. So adding these sorts of things that were covering up where like I'd added the hands that didn't quite look right, and that for me has made it so that this figure really stands out. And that's what I want anymore. It's like I've been able to make so many of the characters that I've wanted to make from the McFarlane line that didn't exist and now are existing as he's releasing more. And so at this point, it's fun to just be able to take something that was fodder that I didn't care about and turn it into something that now on the shelf looks really cool and that will stand out with all of the other figures and isn't just something else that disappears into the crowd. So I'm really happy with how she turned out because of that, because now she's something unique,
that looks cool and is uniquely mine. And that's where I've been getting a lot of just enjoyment out of this hobby lately, is doing that and just having free reign and not worrying so much about how things are supposed to look, and just say like, what would look cool on this figure, on this version of Artemis for me? And so that was fun. So I hope you guys are learning stuff and you're experimenting, and that you're just having fun and enjoying yourself and not holding yourself to these weird standards that make it so that it's not enjoyable. Because sometimes when you do that, it's not enjoyable. And I want this to be fun, and I hope that it's fun for all of you. So I'm Stephen Human. Thank you for watching, as always. Check out StephenHuman.com. I am a novelist. I write sci-fi thrillers. If you guys like that sort of thing, check them out. And check out Quimbleys.com. And if you like board games, if you like Cthulhu Wars and that sort of stuff, check out Quimbleys.com for all of your board game needs. I'm Stephen Human. I'll see you guys soon.